Yeah, I'm sure we've all heard about the Joe Rogan saga by now. And Joe Rogan, a popular UFC commentator turned talk show host. And I think that's somewhat unique about Joe Rogan. He's about as middle of the road as you'll ever get. He's not right wing or pro white by any means, but he's not specifically anti white or radical left either. He's like straight down the center. And usually not very controversial. Like, sure, he likes to be edgy, but he's not too edgy. Although he did stumble upon a controversial subject by accident when interviewing Dr. Malone on the issue of COVID. And he was taken to task by the regime about this. To which he said, "Hey, I'll interview whoever I want, and I will say whatever I want on this subject. Got it?" Well, the regime didn't like that too much. They didn't appreciate his defiant attitude. So as a result, they did this audio compilation of him using the infamous N-word. Now, of course, this was taken completely out of context. Whenever he said this word, this banned word, it was never in an insulting or demeaning context towards blacks. It was always in an inoffensive context. But when it comes to this magical word, context doesn't matter. If you're white, you're not allowed to use this word, period. Well, that's a bunch of BS. And I was kind of hoping that Joe Rogan would point this out, and stress that, hey, this was taken out of context. And so therefore, and since the context wasn't meant to be offensive, I have nothing to apologize for. But no, he made a groveling apology. And which is very disappointing and kind of blackpilling in the sense that Joe Rogan, he's a pretty big, tough guy. Like, he's an alpha male. And he's a trained mixed martial artist. He's not the type of guy you'd want to fight in a parking lot. And not just that, but he's a multi-millionaire. Like, if he never worked another day in his life, he'd have enough money to live off of for the rest of his life easily. In fact, his great-grandchildren could live off of the money that he's already made. So given that set of circumstances, it's very disappointing that he apologized, sending out the message that even if you're a big tough alpha male and you're a multi-millionaire, that you're still under the thumb of this politically correct anti-white political zeitgeist that has virtually everybody under their thumb, including people like Joe Rogan and Whoopi Goldberg. Again, Whoopi Goldberg, just like Joe Rogan, is a multi-millionaire, and if she never worked another day in her life, she'd be just fine. And her response really should have been that, and I would have had more respect for her had she just said, "Look, had she said that she honestly believed that the Jews are white, and that it was all white on white crime, and that it was more about ethnicity, uh, ethnic hatred more than racial hatred. Now, the Jews wouldn't have liked that, but at least she could have stood her ground and not instead of giving a groveling apology, which I. And if ever there was two people that did not need to give a groveling apology, it was Joe Rogan and Whoopi Goldberg. And people look at this and think, well, these famous rich celebrities aren't able to withstand this pressure. Well, how can I? How can Mr. Joe or Jane Average Citizen? And that's very unfortunate. And I know they want to like salvage their reputations, but once the woke mob puts a target on your back, your only option is to stand your ground and not back down and just let the chips fall where they may. And if you have the type of money that these individuals have, you shouldn't worry too much. Just stand tall, keep your head held high, and just let the chips fall where they may.